Hey guys, James here from TCG University, coming back at you with another deck profile. Today I'm showing you my Azwel 1 deck that I played during our Season 3 Budget Beast decks. I had a lot of fun playing this deck. It needs a little bit more, but obviously budget, you miss out on a couple things. So let's get in the profile. You can see the choices I made to make this deck budget as possible while still keeping the strength it needs to do what it wants. Okay, guys. Azwel 1 is a 6-hand size 31 vitality character with all chaos and void. Our deck today is under all. He has two abilities. E, your attack. Your opponent discards the top 3 cards of their deck. If no attacks were discarded this way, they mill another 5 and you get to draw a card, which is super strong. Mill 8 max is super good for the style of the deck we're playing. Enhance commit 1 foundation. Your opponent discards the top 3 cards of their deck. If they all share the same resource, they all share the same control, this attack gets +6 or -6 damage. Which means he can sometimes super buff something or maybe just super nerf something, which is also very strong, but we're mainly playing it for the mill ability. I built a budget mill deck. Remember, all these decks will be under $50, and they're all priced out using Rochester, just because it's just the site we use because they're pretty cool guys. They've sponsored us a couple times, so we use those when we're doing our pricing for all of our videos. So like I said, it's a mill deck. So one of the purposes, I'm going to put this right here so we know it's still here. Oh, I'm bad at this. There we go. So one of the ways you kind of mill your opponent out is by removing their attacks. Make it to where they can't hurt you and you don't have to worry about them killing you. So we're playing 4 Hell Vortex. Hell Vortex is a 3 high for 6. And we mainly play it for the E. Discard the top 4 cards of your deck and remove up to 2 cards from your opponent's discard pile. Basically, we play this. We mill our 4. We remove 2 of their attacks. We mill 3 with Azwel to maybe make them mill 5 more. And then we get to draw a card if possible. And then if we have the extra foundation to be able to do it, we mill them 3 more to try and give it 6 damage to make them use a card from their hand to block it. Just trying to get more cards funneling. But we mainly do it just to get the 3 mill, try to get 5 more, get rid of 2 cards. It's just super strong, and just every single time you get to play this, you get rid of 2 of your opponent's attacks from the discard pile. Pretty good. We're playing 4 Oicho Throw. It's a 2/5 stun 1 safe throw that says we get to remove the top card of our opponent's deck and give damage equal to its block modifier to this attack. This just means we can sometimes randomly snipe attacks off the top. We're still randomly discarding removing 1 card off the top of their deck, which is super strong. Just slowly dwindling down their deck total. We have 4 A Worthy Vessel. This is just flip, remove 1 card in either player's discard pile. Just flip, remove an attack. Super strong card for the deck style we're playing, just because, again, just like Hell Vortex, removing attacks is very strong, because it means on cycle they have less attacks to kill you with. And then we're playing 4 Well-Earned Relaxation. This is a 3/6 with a 1 high block. So it's really good. Has Breaker 1 as well if you ever need it in hand. E-Destroy, this attack is -3 damage, so if you ever need to neg damage on something, you have that. And then respond once per turn. After your opponent removes any number of cards from the top of their deck, they remove 1 additional card, play while committed. This triggers off of, like, Oicho Throw, but it also triggers off of things like Game Function. Like when they have to cycle and they have to remove the top 10 cards of their deck. This just makes it 11, 12, 13, 14. And it just means every time they cycle once per turn, you make them remove 14 instead of 10. Which, instead of being a 1/6 of your deck, is a 1/4 of your deck. Which is crazy. Then we're playing 1 Inlord Raptor's Clutches. Not everything in our deck is safe. So we kind of come up short on a few things. And getting reversals is one of the best way to counter us because we have to deal with it. Because the idea of the deck is mill our opponent as fast as possible, play really good defense. We have a lot of really good breaker and stuff like that in our deck. But Inlord Raptor Clutches is a 3/4 no block. We only play 1 of it specifically just because it's only good situationally. It's not good all the time. But remove after your opponent plays an attack as a reversal. Remove it. This just means when our opponent reversals us, we can get rid of that attack. Not only is it removing 1 attack from the game, but it's also getting rid of the threat of that reversal. So we don't have to worry about it. Onto the mill factor, just more mill instead of removal, because removal can't be our only thing because there's not enough under the all symbol. We're playing 4 Strongest style. This contributes to our deck by milling 4 more cards from our opponent. It has Breaker 3, 3 mid block, has Taunt, best keyword in the game. It's a 2/4. E remove, both players discard the top 4 cards of their deck. The player that discarded the highest difficulty, highest printed damage attack adds that attack to their hand, and then both, if there are no high, like if we tie or whatever, or if there were just none in general, both players reveal their hands, and then both players know what's going on. Basically, we mill. This is basically just a mill, but we do play 5s and 6s. So, like if our opponent's playing 4 damage attacks and they don't hit their big attack that is like 6-7 damage, we get to add our attack to the hand and we don't have to worry about it, especially when like most base for our attack is 5 outside of just like 1 or 2. And then this card's not sleeved mainly because it wasn't in the deck. It was definitely supposed to be, and I played the entire tournament without it in the deck, so I apologize to everybody because this would have ruined it. This would have, knowing this was there, could have done something different, hopefully. I don't know yet. I'm not 100% sure, but Teshermite. Teshermite is a 3/5 with a 0, low block, breaker 1. E remove, if this attack's damage is 5 or greater, draw 1 card, and your opponent discards the top 5 cards of their deck. This just mills 5 more cards and draws a card for most base of all of our attacks. And then E remove, if your attack's damage is 10 or greater, draw 2 cards and your opponent discards the top 10 cards of their deck. This is if we hit Azwel, we get to mill 10 and draw 2, which is very good. And then E remove, if this attack's damage is 15 or greater, draw 3 cards from your deck and your opponent mills 15. I think the only way we hit that is if we hit off of Azwel. So that would make it 6. So I'm gonna pull this out so you can see the one I'm looking at. So 6, you hit some random 5 off the top, make this 10, it makes it 16, or hit a 4 even. Like that's like one of the only ways we get to it. But there's a possibility, like not over until you die. Water decks play some styles of water decks play not the rats card, but the other one, the one that pops a foundation. So like, there's a possibility that sometimes you'll hit it. You could also, I'm seeing if there's anything damage pump wise in our deck. We have a +2 damage, so like we have some ways to get there, but it's not always the game plan. The game plan is just maybe mill an extra 5 and draw a card, maybe mill 10 if we get lucky. You know, just continue the mill a little bit. But it was not in the deck. It was definitely supposed to be, so I apologize about that, guys. I'm gonna just throw those off to the side. They don't matter. On to Ultimate Killer Headram. This is a 5/2. It's a bad check. 3 mid for 5. Multiple 2 and slam. E, your opponent discards the top discards cards from the top of their deck until they hit 4 non-attack cards. This just means if our opponent has already seen a bunch of has seen no attacks, we can just start milling their deck till they see 9 attack cards, and if we just hit a bunch of attacks, we just get to get rid of a bunch. And not only that, depending on like how many you get to go through, minimum it mills 4, which is good. Mill 4 is not bad, especially on top of Azwel's mill 3, possible mill an extra 5. We can hit a bunch of things with this, and not counting if like we hit other attacks off of this, which is pretty cool. And then multiple 2 just leads into other things as well. And then 2 Sumo Headbutt. This deck only played 18 attacks. Usually it played 20, but I wanted to play a little less, and I felt like 16 was too little, so I made 18. Sumo Headbutt is a 5/3, 4 mid for 5 with charge, safe, and slam. E, if this attack is blocked, you get to seal 1 non-character card in your opponent's staging area, so you get rid of problem cards if you need it. And then E, if this attack deals damage, your opponent discards the top 4 cards of their deck. This card just says our opponent's forced to interact with us. If they don't want us to mill. So we get a mill 4 here if they don't. 3 and 3 makes 10 cards. We milled like a 1/6 of their deck during our turn. That's crazy. So that makes this where they have to interact with this, which means they get rid of 2 more, which is pretty cool. And then we have 4 Profane Sanctuary. We mainly play this as a cool spam with a 3 high block that says everybody mills 2. And when you get to do it once per turn, every turn, it's pretty good. We have Ozeki. This was the card that gives damage. This is just commit, give your attack +2 damage. If it is blocked, your opponent removes the top 2 cards of their deck. They remove 2 cards from their discard pile from the game. They'll probably choose Foundations, but -2 less cards is very good. And then for like we said, we could do the damage thing for a strength of Tessermite. And then if you give this to like Sumo Headbutt, it makes it a 7 damage attack, maybe 13. and then you can then if they're forced to block it, and then they have to remove 2. If they don't block it, they still remove 4. It's pretty good. Then we're playing 4 Ermax Teleport Punch. When you're already dwindling down how much attacks they can play, making sure they lose 1 attack per turn is pretty good. They play their attack, you play Teleport Punch. It's check a 6, add this to the card pool, add their attack back to their hand, and then play this attack. You get to draw a card if you check another 6. You get to mill with Azwel twice. It's all around pretty good. Then we're on to our offensive and defensive tools I played for the deck that weren't directly synergized with the Azwel game plan. We're playing 1 A Sun's Love. Just first form, commit, draw a card. Pretty good. Being a 7-hander and 31 life is pretty cool. Same thing with Not Over Until You Die. We do remove a couple things on our end as well. First form, commit. There are at least 2 cards you remove from game pile, draw a card. Just more copies of A Sun's Love, basically, that so we can try to like fiddle with things. As well as if we need to, we can put an attack on top of our deck and then like strongest style it. We could, I guess strongest style wouldn't work because we don't get to do that. But there's a bunch of options. You can put an attack on top of your deck. As well, make them mill and then draw it. There's just slight combos. For Telekinetic Mastery to deal with pump decks, +1 speed and +1s and +2s don't mean nothing when TK just cancels it all. So pretty good. Just making sure our opponent doesn't kill us is really the game plan. 3, Commander of the Outworld's Armies to get rid of problem cards. If we take 4 or more, we flip one of their foundations, get rid of something that slows us down, stuff like that. It's also a 3 mid with Breaker 1, pretty good block. And then we have Reborn Human. The idea behind this card wasn't on the offensive, it was more on the defensive. It was to block with this, and then every time we did have to take damage, we gained a life, and it was just like -1 damage for the rest of the turn, basically. I like the idea. I think I need more speed hate than this last card to make that work properly, which is the last card being Feifei. Feifei is just flip for -3 speed, block something. Thanks again for checking out the profile, guys. If you liked my Azwel 1 deck, let me know down below in the comments. Let us know what you guys would like to see as like a theme for one of our Campus Championships in the future. If you want to catch the Campus Championship live, 6 p.m. every Tuesdays at Central Time, obviously. Not obviously, I guess, sorry. Central Time. Make sure to check us out, hang out with us. You know, we enjoy that. We have a fun time. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/TCG University. If you hit us up at the $1 level, the $1 tier, you get access to all of our content live. You get notified when we do any live content like that. You get access to all of our content early on YouTube, as well as it'll still come out later if you don't want to. Don't worry about that. You get access to our Discord, where you can talk to us personally. So, like, if you want to talk to me on Discord with our Azwel deck, you can do that inside of our Discord. You can also talk with everybody else in there from other videos, from our other like card games, like Final Fantasy, White Schwartz, Magic, all that. You get to talk to them about that. You can tell us what you guys think, have conversations, deck builds, stuff like that. So, until next time, guys, stay learned.